Good morning, everyone, and happy Mother's Day. My name is Joe Adan, and I'm your service associate for today. Please take your seats and silence your phones, and please be advised we are recording the service. Please join with me in reading the centering thought. Prayer does not change God, but it changes him who prays. Soren Kierkegaard. Now, please gentle your hearts and minds while our pianist, Barbara, begins the prelude.
Good morning. This is the first of 3 romances written by Clara Schumann. I was looking for a piece that was written by somebody who was herself a mother. And at this point, she had just met Johannes Brahms. She's all excited about this one, meeting this fabulous young composer. And she, at this point, had 7 already of her 8 children. And you could just hear all the passion in this piece.
Thank you, Barbara. You really enrich us with your music selections and the stories behind them. So thank you. Welcome to the Sunday morning hybrid worship service of Summit UU Fellowship. We are a liberal religious community bound together by shared principles drawn from world religions, humanist teachings, nature and science, philosophy, and personal practices. We are a religion of love and inclusion. The mission of Summit is to commit ourselves to building a more compassionate, just, and sustainable world. If you are new to Unitarian Universalism or to Summit and would like to know more about us, we invite you to go to our website, summituuf.org, click on the visitors button, and fill out the online connection card. Someone will follow up with you. Now, I didn't have anybody come up to me for any announcements, but I just wanted to ask if there are any.
Yep.
Okay. One announcement. Al?
Good morning. Yeah. What I got this week is a statement or message from the minister of the Unitarian Methodist Church in Santee here, about a mile away, just off Magnolia. And what he's proposing is he found out that there's only one cold zone in cold place in Santee, and it's the library. And he's thinking, well, they can open up their church on hot days for the homeless and for seniors and anyone that needs. And he thought he was going to talk to his board about that. And he said the only thing is they need people. They don't have enough in their fellowship, and they were so good to us during this previous shelter. They sent 2 meals down and also people to do overnights, and we finally made a connection with a local church other than the minister, attending the ministerial meetings over the years. But so this is nice to see. So you might keep this in mind. And I said I put it out to the fellowship and see what kind of reply we get, and what people are interested in. I don't know, maybe spending a couple hours at the church. It's like, say, it's just up Magnolia, just about a half a mile up off of Mission Gorge. So it's very close. And so it's, something we consider, and possibly get back to me this week. My email and phone number are both in the most recent directory. So, but yeah, I'd like to help them out if we can. Depends upon what people have on their calendars. But thank you.
Thank you, Al. Thank you for your outreach and your devotion to the homeless and unsheltered. Did somebody lose their wristwatch? Okay. Our land acknowledgement. For millennia, the Kumeyaay have been part of this land. The land has nourished, protected, and embraced them for many generations in a relationship of balance and harmony. As members of Summit Fellowship, we acknowledge this legacy and we promote this balance and harmony. We find inspiration from this land, the land of the Kumeyaay. I'd like to introduce our guest speaker today, Rebekah Milhoan, licensed clinical social worker, is a licensed therapist in the field for more than 15 years. Becca's trauma-informed and mindfulness practice nurtures individuals in all walks of life towards mental clarity and wholeness. And I think she has a really good message and exercise for us today. And now we'll have our opening reading. Sam?
Morning. You hold the memory of what it was to be whole. It lives deep in your bones. It abides in your heart that has been torn and mended 100 times. It persists in your lungs that know the mystery of what it means to be full, to be empty, to be full again. I am not asking you to give up your grip on the shards you clasp so close to you, but to wonder what it would be like for those jagged edges to meet each other in some new pattern. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. And now we'll have our chalice lighting. We reflect in thanksgiving this day for all whose lives have nurtured ours. On this day that honors mothers, let us honor all mothers, men and women alike, and animals too, who from somewhere in their being have freely and wholeheartedly given life and sustenance and vision to us. Amen. By Reverend Victoria Weinstein. Let us join together and sing, if muted, on Zoom in both English and Spanish to reflect the multilingual culture of our region, our UU hymn, immediately followed by our UU aspiration. May love be the spirit of this fellowship. May the quest for truth be its sacrament and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our aspiration. Please be seated. Now we'll have our time for all ages.
Mike. Yeah. Test. There we go. Come on up, kiddos. I need you. We need you up here. We need you. We need you. We need all of us up here. Come on up. Sam's here. Come on. All right. Here comes Miss Elizabeth.
So fantastic.
Hi. Come on up. Let's all gather around.
Oh my goodness.
Rebekah has a story
love
for us. Hey, let's gather around Rebekah. I'm here for the story too. Come on.
Yeah,
let's get up here.
America's gonna hear this.
Here, I'm gonna move over a little more. I love barefoot stories. They're the best. Let's go. Okay. Gathering around.
So I have a
right?
little story for you today. Hi, I'm Becca. Hi. There once was a radiant princess, full of depth in the land bathed in mist and starlight. This princess had no name. Her life was full of magic and grace and ballrooms. Everywhere she went, she would wonder who she was, and as she sometimes felt different from the other maidens and knights of the castle. They would tell her she was so special, but she would only feel that on some occasions. One day, while looking through her tea collection, she found a small mirror. This was no ordinary mirror, as she would soon discover it revealed to her a secret. As she gazed into the sparkling mirror, she noticed that everywhere she would go, she seemed to take with her some small companions. These companions could not be seen in the light, but the more she looked, the more she knew they were all part of her. One day, she braved the courage to ask these small companions, "Who are you?" The first companion stepped into the light of the mirror and said, "I am R, the thinker. I am often lost in thought. Some may say I have my head in the clouds, but I also make careful and beautiful decisions." One after the other, the 7 companions stepped forward. The next companion said, "I am E. Why, I am the lover. I am often quite romantic. Some may say I'm just a cute dreamer, but I also make deep connections." The next one had a B on their shirt and was called the doer. "I am often doing many tasks at once. Some say I never stop working, but I lay the foundation for our future." The next stepped up with an E on their shirt and glasses on their face. "Why, I am the planner. I am often thinking about what is to come. Some may say I am never in the now, but I am making a map for the next steps." The next one giggled and had a K on their shirt. "I am the player. I am often playing in the mud in a tutu. Some may say I am never serious, but I also make sure there's light and fun." The next stepped up and said, "I am the prayer. I am often looking towards the heavens. Some say I am not practical, but I am also sure I am full of spirit, rich and growing, interconnected with all the webs of the universe." As the princess looked at these companions, she noticed that they said the word Rebekah. "I'm Rebekah." The princess' eyes began to sparkle as she realized this was her true name, and these companions were each a piece of her, holding a part of her and placing the mirror in her pocket and walking towards her future. And they all lived with depth of emotion ever after. So, as we see the wrestlers part of these guys over here, yeah, I'm wondering, the wrestlers can beautiful. Good job.
Okay. Answer.
Good. Yeah. So what is one part of you that you just absolutely love? Sounds like playing.
So what's a part of you that you absolutely love? Who has a part of themselves that they love? Raise your hand. Does anybody have a part of themselves that they love?
The wrestler?
Do you love wrestling? We don't need a demonstration right now, Wesley. Wesley? Okay, that's enough, guys. Let's not have wrestling right now. Mason and Wesley. Okay. How about you, Elizabeth? Is there a part that you absolutely love of yourself? No, not a part you absolutely love. I love your creative costume right now. Your pink shoes. Who else has a part of themselves that they absolutely love? How about you, Sam?
I don't know. I guess I like planning things and like having that amazing idea, but never actually doing it.
I feel that.
You have an idea? Do you want to tell me? You love your big feather hat? I love your big feather hat too. Anybody else have something they want to share that they absolutely love? What do you want to share something? Come here. Mason, come share. Do you have something you want to share about the babies?
You're joyful.
They're joyful? You like the joy? The babies are adorable. Is there something special that happened with the babies this week that you want to share? Who want? Do you want to come share? Come share. Okay. Well, I want one of their family members. Mason, you want to start?
No. On Thursday, the 11th, our triplet babies turned 1.
There'll be cake in the salon later. Anything else you absolutely love that you want to share? One more thing we absolutely love about yourself. Oren, come over here. Oren, can you come over here and share?
The legend is all the tears of the kingdom. Da, da, da.
Can you say that? Can you say that again? I missed it. Something about Tears of the Kingdom. I think it was a video game reference.
Being a gamer.
I think being a gamer is something that Oren absolutely loves. That was a gaming reference. Anything else? That's a cleverness. Anybody else have something about themselves? Do you have something you want to share that you absolutely love about yourself? Cheese in Ohio. That was a reference to last week. Cheese in Ohio was part of an RE conversation we had. So we talked a lot about cheese and Ohio and RE last Sunday. I can't explain it, but it was important last week.
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering, we have pieces of paper and pens for everyone. I'd like you to think of a part of yourself that doesn't often get acknowledged. Whether that's that thinker, the planner that wants to plan but never go anywhere. If it's the wrestler who gets to show off in front of the group today. Whatever part of yourself that doesn't, the comedian, part of yourself that doesn't often get acknowledged. And I just want you to think about that part, whether it's your heart, it's the thinker, it's the planner, whatever part of yourself often doesn't get you've done a good job. You've done a really good job. And I want you to write down something you need to tell that part. So for instance, I am a big planner. I have 3 planners. I do a lot of planning for my family. And something that part of me needs to hear is it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay. You are doing a good enough job. So think about a part of yourself that doesn't get acknowledged, whether it's your heart, it's something, just a part of yourself, and write down on that piece of paper something that part needs to hear. And I'll give you just a little bit to do that. You're writing it to yourself. Love it. Okay. And this is to yourself and only to yourself, and keep sacred what is yours. But if there's a couple of folks who'd like to share, would be willing to share what they wrote, I would love to hear it. Okay. Oh no, Sam, come back. He was kidding. I hope it's about the.
You need to spend more time doing joyous things.
Ah, who can relate? Raise your hand. More time doing joyous things. Love that. Okay. Who else willing to share? Something you need to hear? Oh, I love it. Over here. I love your shirt, by the way. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So one of mine was, it's okay to close the cabin door. I can't close the door behind me.
It's okay to not close the cabin
It's
door.
okay to not close it.
Ah, giving yourself a little grace, huh? Who needs a little more grace? Yeah? Yeah. Love that. One more. If we can get one more. Or two more. Lovely. Love it.
I think I misunderstood the assignment, but I thought we were supposed to say something we loved about ourselves. I'm such a nerd. I love that about myself.
Yeah. Yes. Same. Love it.
Oh, this is a Mother's Day complaint. I juggle so many things. I clean, cook, and keep the family on track, but I don't think my efforts are noticed often enough.
Oh. Who? Yeah. So all the effort, you're noticing it for you today and all of us. So who needs to know their efforts more? Who recognize their efforts, even those invisible efforts? I definitely do. Yeah, go ahead.
The procrastinator.
Oh.
That's the part of me that I kind of have a hard time with, but I'm trying to recognize that all will be accomplished at the right time.
Ah. I don't need to raise a hand on that one because I saw this. Thank you so much. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm really an organizer and a planner and like that, of my day and like that. And one thing I had to learn from Fern is basically Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, I just relaxed back and it took
Yeah.
she was a wise teacher. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Rome wasn't built in a day. Absolutely. Love that. One more.
Hello, this is a big one for me. I want to know it's okay.
Yeah, go.
Is it loud enough? Okay, I want to know it's okay not to stress about my cluttered desk.
She said, I want to not stress about my cluttered desk. Aha. Huzzah. Yeah. You want to go to the. We're going to do our so that the kiddos can go to their.
Our love of wrestling.
Our love of wrestling.
Right now. They do.
Kids do.
Their energy is big.
Yeah.
Big energy. We're going to go to the garden.
Yay.
So we're going to do affirmation.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are
Unitarian, Universalist, people of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands.
going to head off to the garden and plant some tomatoes.
Yay! Thank you, Mary. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for sharing.
Please stand if you're willing and able to sing hymn number 1053 in the blue-green hymnal. How could anyone? It's a miracle. Connect to us. Anyone tell me. It's a miracle. Into my soul. Please be seated. We'll have our reflection.
I'll see me on theirs. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Good morning, everybody. Like Joe said, I'm Rebecca. Been in this congregation probably 3 or 4 years. Of course, with the COVID and everything, missed a couple years and coming back. It's so beautiful to see people's faces and Summit thriving again. It really is. We have my no problem. Okay. Can I give a hand to our AV people every week? My goodness, that's stressful. That's stressful. So, my reflection today is called "Nurturing." It's what's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Today, on what we call Mother's Day, I thought nurturing was such a good topic to start with. So let's see if I can get this going. Maybe not. Okay, switch to side. It's on. You have to click it for me. Okay, so one more time. Work. 24 hours a day, 525, 600 minutes a year. Go ahead, one more. Our primary nurturers out there. Who's the primary nurturer of someone else? Mothers, fathers, people who do that 24 hours a day, who have kids out there. One more hand, one more time. We need to see you. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Holy smokes. Do you see how many minutes in a year? A lot. It's a lot that you give yourselves and give nurturing to people in our world. So I just want to first recognize you and say, if I can make it, you deserve a, hopefully, an ooh. Can we give them an ooh? If you like macaroons, you get those digitally. And an ah. When I think of primary nurturers, I literally think this in my head. Ooh, ah, holy crap. A lot of time and energy you give to others in this world. Whatever your ooh or ah, please do that today. And in fact, I hope you do it at least 52 times next year. That would be once a week. Yeah. I mean, I hope every day, but if you at this point, hopefully you do it at least once a week. Give back to yourself. It's an act of self-care. It's a nurturing one. In other words, it's like eating. If you plan it, likely it'll be nutrient dense instead of snacking on the go. So I hope you take a minute to really revel in yourselves and what you do each and every day, each and every minute of every day. I want to do a little disclaimer. This is my own journey. I am going to be talking about the last year of my life and how I got to understanding nurturing as a necessity, not as an option. However, take what you like from this talk and leave the rest. Something doesn't work for you, let it go. This is a personal journey. So I just wanted to say that to start off with. So when you're thinking about, when I was thinking a year ago, how am I going to learn how to nurture myself? I Googled it, and there's not many books about that. There's not a manual you get at around, I don't know, 18 years old that says, okay, now you're a young adult. Here's how you take care of yourself. Here's how you nurture yourself emotionally, spiritually, nevertheless physically. So I did the thing that maybe mine plus other people generations do, which is I talk to Dr. Google a lot. And one of the things I learned is I said, Google, translate my feelings so I know what the heck to do with them. I love this meme. This is a heart and a brain. I don't know if anyone's seen this meme online, but the heart says, I feel blah, 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 blah. I don't know how to translate that into rational thought, says the brain. Fine, it's like blah, blah, with a little blah, blah, blah. Just make it into words. Help. This has been my experience where my heart says something and my brain says, what are you doing? So the first thing I learned is that I needed to translate my feelings. I needed to figure out what the heck they were trying to tell me. Feelings, speak up, please. So there's definitions to feelings, sadness, anxiety. You might be able to come up with a definition. But what I learned over this year is that feelings have something they're trying to say. So for instance, anxiety, when I'm feeling anxiety might say to me, wake up to your needs. What do you need right now? Well, I might need a break. I might need to breathe. So I learned over this last year that my feelings really tell me a lot if I'm willing to listen. The next thing I had to do was accept these feelings, which is a longer journey than I realized. I thought that the challenging feelings, some of the feelings on there, maybe like depression or panic or anxiety, might be the hard ones to accept. What I actually found out this last year is that joy was really hard to accept in my life. It felt really scary. Joy felt really scary because when you're feeling joy, the next thought that pops into my head is, when is this going to end? What's going to happen to my joy? And so I love this quote by Alan Watts. There is a price to pay for every increase in consciousness. We cannot be more sensitive to pleasure without being more sensitive to pain. This was hard for me this quote really hit me because it says, if I open the door to vulnerability, I can't just let joy in and contentment in. I also have to let in pain. And it became true for me that the more sensitive I became to pleasure, the more I found joy, the more I was also sensitive to what was happening in my life that brought pain. Oh, wrong way. Those who know me know I'm a big Disney fan. I go to Disneyland and I turn into a child. That is my face as a child. I met Mickey. We had a little breakfast date. It was fantastic. So what I learned was that over this year was that joy braces resilience. So what I was thinking was, if I get to joy and then I lose it, I'm going to be so hurt. But what I didn't realize was that the more joy that I had, the more it braced like a building. It braced me. When those challenging things came up, I had more resilience in those moments. I never knew that feeling joy filled up my resilience. I never knew that. My partner's mom said this thing nonchalantly, and ever since then I've been using it. I used to say, it's good or it's bad, using lots of judgments for my experience around these feelings. So I was having lots of feelings. And she said, oh, it's a balcony and basement of these feelings. Instead of judging the feelings, whatever it was, I can call it a balcony, and I can call it, there's always a balcony to a feeling and there's always a basement to a feeling. Sadness, for example, a balcony of sadness could be that I'm connecting with people. The basement could be that I'm feeling sad, right? And that doesn't feel good. But instead of judging, I learned to use these words that didn't have judgments on them. Albert Clemens says, in the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible love. In the midst of tears, I found there was within me an invincible smile. In the midst of chaos, I found there was within me an invincible calm. For it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me there's something stronger, something better pushing back. I love this because on the flip side of every feeling can also be something that is being given to us. For example, sadness says, it's what I love and care about. So if I listen to sadness, I'm going to go towards what I love and care about. And that's going to bring me these things: invincible, joy, calm, love. The next step in my journey was to realize that I couldn't just celebrate the easy ones. This is a judgment. Stress in particular. So it says up here, it's important to celebrate your feelings. And then they had a birthday party for stress. I don't know about you, but when I've done something really proud, like I've worked really hard at, I usually celebrate it. I usually share it with people. I usually, when I graduated my undergraduate, I went and had a big party about it. But when I learned about myself and I spent a year in therapy, working towards myself, working towards self-healing, I didn't go up to people and say, guess what? It's been a year since I've been really working hard on myself. But why not? Why not? Ask yourself that, because I had to. So noticing our feelings is what I'm calling breakfast. The first meal a day. Let's first check in with ourselves. What am I feeling without judgment? How can I do that without judgment? Maybe recognizing those feelings are also bringing us to the feelings we want to feel, bring us closer to the people we love. I don't know what that is for you. For me, I love tea in the morning. So I try really hard to have an intentional tea moment where when I'm drinking my tea, I feel and check in with my feelings. And that's helped me a lot. Because the day I drag the day before into the next day. I drag the week before into the week after. And so this helps me to realize what I'm bringing into my day. Okay, the next part of my journey was Google, how do I reframe my narrative? So I'm doing all this wonderful feelings work. I'm like, okay, I got feelings. I'm all right with them. It's wonderful. Then this thing called my brain and thoughts happened. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I see some head shaking. Okay, so I was all good with the feelings until my thoughts got with them. So I had to learn how to reframe my narrative. As a kid, I have 3 older brothers, and they always used to call me the bossy. You're so bossy. You're so. And I didn't realize that I kept that with me. I kept that narrative with me my whole life, that if I was assertive or if I was telling people my boundaries, being direct, I was bossy. So this is a funny sweater that I really like. I'm not bossy. I'm aggressively helpful. Okay. All right. For the Star Wars fans out there, it is Luke blowing up the Death Star. And then this is a Lord of the Rings character. And his famous line is, so it's Luke does this huge thing. I did it. I blew up the Death Star. And then this character says, that only counts for one. This is again my personal story. I'm a recovering perfectionist. If I blew up the Death Star, I would absolutely say to myself next, but that was only one. I just did one little thing there. I struggle with this trait called perfectionism. It is the narrative in my head that speaks and says, you cannot feel good unless you're perfect. You cannot be in a social situation without leaving it where everyone feels good. So this perfectionism stayed with me my whole life. And it started in a really beautiful place. My dad, who I think's online, love you, Dad. He started saying, "You're the best girl in the whole world." What a beautiful thing to say to your daughter. But my brain took that and my thoughts took that and reversed that into, you have to be the perfect girl in the whole world. So this beautiful thing that was said to me, my mind took that and switched it up and said, no, it's not just good. You have to be perfect. You have to be perfect. This was really hard narrative wise for me because people say, well, there's no such thing as perfect. And I said, the school system, I can get a 4.0. Isn't that perfect? I can do the time that I need to do. I need to get, this many basketball shots. I can get 6 of those. That's perfect. So even though it's not true that as humans, it's a huge, hard standard for us, there are things that in our world make us believe that we can be perfect. Bob Marley says, he was asked one time, if there was a perfect woman, he replied, who cares about perfection? Even the moon is not perfect. It is full of craters. The sea is incredibly beautiful, but salty and dark in its depths. The sky is always infinite, but often cloudy. So everything that is beautiful isn't perfect. It's special. Therefore, every woman can be special to someone. Stop being perfect, but try to be free and live and doing what you love, not wanting to impress others. Aww, right? Wouldn't it be nice if you could just be like, yeah, thoughts, just do that. I had to learn that humanness over perfectionist is a thing and it's okay and it's wonderful. And that is not easy to do. I had to learn that perfectionism, if it was speaking, it would say, I care a lot. I care a lot. I care a lot about you. I care a lot about how I'm perceived. I care a lot. And so I had to retrain my brain that when I felt like I had to be perfect, I could actually be perfectly imperfect. And that was worth time too. And it was also worth me being able to shine, because I couldn't shine or feel good if I always felt like I had to be perfect. This was part of the narrative of the perfectionism as well, is not only did I have to take apart that narrative, but I also had to reclaim this word weird. If you're always trying to be normal, you'll never know how amazing you are, Maya Angelou. Part of my journey through perfectionism was learning that sometimes I would be so unperfect, I'd be called weird. In my head. Remember, this is all in your head. This is not someone else telling me this. This is actually me hurting me all the time. I heard a statistic one time that we have like 70,000 thoughts a day. And if 80% of those are these patterns that keep going around and around and around and around, oh my gosh, how many times a day are we telling ourselves this is not okay? I'm not okay. I'm gonna work on that. So I came to this point where I said, okay, I don't dislike myself anymore. I got this. I got my feelings. I'm figuring out my thoughts. Now what? Now what? What do I do? I'm not gonna read this thing because it's basically my monologue inside. Monologue FM. And I came across this quote, at any time we can accept or refuse reality. I love it. It's a moss saying to worm, I became a moth, and the worm goes, dang. The butterfly says, I became a butterfly, and the worm and the moth say, dang. And then what about you, worm? I accepted myself for who I am. Dang. Whoa. Wow. Wow. You know how my mind was in this cycle so much? I thought the worm was a caterpillar. I was like, let's go, caterpillar. Then I got to the end and I was like, oh no, that's right. Okay. So it's a really hard thing to accept reality as it is, because there are things that I don't want to accept about myself. I'm lactose intolerant. Okay. I love ice cream. I love all of these things. I have to accept that self to have a really joyful experience. If I don't accept it, well, y'all know what happens. So it's not about just accepting or refusing reality as we think it is. I had to learn that I was accepting reality as I thought it was, meaning that I allowed that 70,000 thoughts to literally rule me, to literally be the thing that was my reality. So I refused that reality and started accepting a new one. But that doesn't mean the reality is perfect. In this journey, I realized that I had to accept emotional logic as just as much fact as logical reasoning to be able to feel satisfied. Let me explain it real quick. So if I was logical, I wouldn't have 50 stuffed animals. Maybe I would, I don't know. But when I listen to my emotional logic, my emotional reasoning, I say, these animals have helped me in so many ways. They also help who I work with, my participants, my clients. So I buy these animals. It's not logical or reasoning, it's emotional reasoning. And I love it. But when I say, can I spend $5 on another stuffed animal? Logic. Yeah, I can afford $5. Plus emotional reasoning. I really want the Anadol. I feel satisfied inside because both parts of me are being heard, not just the one that we call logic. Both parts get heard. Okay, here is my growth point, which I'm going to tell everyone, and you're all going to love me anyway. Where I'm at in this journey now is learning what self-love means for me. Each and every one of us are individuals, so it's going to be a journey, an individual journey. But for me, I had to learn that I wasn't too much. I'm not too much for people. And that was the stumbling, that was the barrier. If self-love was here and I'm over here, the barrier was the thought that I'm too much. I'm too emotional. I'm too much this. I'm too much that. I'm too much this. And my reframe was this. I found this. He's saying, I just think you're a bit much. And she says, then go find less. Go find less. This is where I'm at right now. This is my growth point. Remembering that I am enough for me. And even if that's too much, because that's reality, right? Even if it is too much for someone, that's okay. Their reality doesn't have to include me. And I can still love me, even if it makes others uncomfortable. So this is where our journey ends for now. And I hope that as you go through this Nurturers Day, primary nurturers especially, you think about, one, how am I listening to my feelings? Am I listening to my feelings? And how am I listening to them? Am I judging them? Am I saying they're not allowed with your thoughts? And number 3, where are you on your self-love journey? When I first heard self-love, I rolled my eyes. Now I can say self-love and say, okay, I'm on this part of the journey. I'm trying to reframe that narrative. So I hope you take today to spend a little time and appreciating the parts of you that nurture others, but also the parts that nurture yourself, listening to those feelings, And last but not least, definitely not least, spend that time and energy that you have on figuring out where you are in your self-love journey and finding that place. So I am so grateful to be here today. I'm so grateful to share my story. And I'm even more grateful that I have this wonderful human being with me. This is Rossi. One thing that really nurtures, and I know about Rossi, is her love of her religion, Christianity, and Jesus Christ. And she has brought her beautiful talent today. She has a little things she wants to say. She's going to nurture us with her talent on the piano.
Hey everybody. Thank you, Rebecca. That was awesome. So yeah, my name's Rossi and I just moved here like a year and a half ago. So I'm really new to California, but I love it and it's so beautiful. So yeah, just a little bit about me and music and just like how it came to me. I remember during COVID, it was just like, okay, what am I going to do today? Like, I'll just sit here. I'm just going to do the same thing over and over again. And for me, I love people and I love having fun and I love, being around other people. So I was like, this is awful. Like, this is not fun. So I remember just, getting to this super deep sadness and depression and just like, oh man, like where are you at, Jesus? And just, praying and just wanting to know, I need you and I know that you care for me. And it's so cool to think like nurturing and Jesus, they just go right in, like he loves us and he cares about us. And the next morning I was like, I guess I'll try something new today. And so I sat on the piano and I remember learning this song and the lyrics were, not for a minute was I forsaken, by Jesus. And it was like, wait, how did I know how to play that? And why do I know exactly what I'm doing, but I couldn't tell you? So Jesus, gave me the gift of music and now I can play the piano. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Like, this doesn't even make any sense. But I know that it's something he gave me to heal my just heart of hurt and just felt like, nobody's around and I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And I don't know, like, it's just so crazy how he nurtured me with music and just gave me so much hope and showed me even another part of his love for me. And it's just so cool to just as I keep doing music and as I keep figuring out more about Jesus and learning about him. It's just the best decision and coolest thing to be a part of. But he loves all of you guys and I love all of you guys. It was great talking to you, Miss Barbara. You're so talented. And you too, John? No, Joe. Okay, Joe. Yeah, just so great talking to you this morning. And a bunch of others. So he loves you guys. He just loves you. I love you and he cares about you and he wants to know you. And yeah. So I'm just gonna sing. Running with my eyes closed, weary, flesh and bone. I can feel the fire burning in my lungs. Hey, my heart pounds inside my chest, saying it's okay to take your time, slow it down, you just need a rest. I've been holding on with all my might, but I can hardly catch my breath, thinking maybe it's the hope inside that comes alive when it's all we have left. dancing with the ocean, caught up in the tide. I can feel the motion pull me out to the cold and the darker side. Ooh, and maybe why I get dragged beneath the surface. Every kick against the current, I sink down deeper and I ask myself, is there something in the eye that makes all these troubles worth it? Or could it be the hope inside that comes alive when it's all we have left? It's all right. Yeah, it's okay. If this all stays the same, whole dreams new dreams will grow. And I just want a hand to hold, a hand to hold. I just want a hand. Are we just flowers that are ready for rain, waiting on the water to restore remains? Wilted our time and us together in pain, singing hallelujah while we wait. Echoing voices from inside of the hall, spray painted pictures on the side of the wall, looking for the meaning in the midst of it all. Are we even listening anymore? And maybe it's the reason why this world spins around in circles. I guess give us another try. Every sunrise to find purpose. Has it been happening all this time? Like another thread that goes unnoticed. I'm leaving what is lost behind to find. Oh, 'cause maybe it's the hope inside that comes alive. And it's all we have left. And it's the hope inside that comes alive. And it's all we have left.
Rossi, that was just beautiful. And I hope our Zoom people could really, I wish they were here, could hear this in person, how beautiful that was. And as a recovery perfectionist, I really appreciate your message, Rebekah. We are a fellowship supported entirely by the voluntary generosity of our members and friends, and we greatly appreciate our faithful pledgers who continue to keep up their monthly contributions. It is now easier than ever to contribute to our virtual plate today. The link can be found in the chat box and will take you directly to the donation location. And now we will gratefully accept your generous donations during the musical interlude.
This is a piece of music by a French composer, Deodat de Severac. He's not very well known or very often played, which is unfortunate because his music is fantastic. And it is called Grandma's Caresses, written in 1924.
As we close our service by extinguishing our chalice, I invite you to stay afterwards for a time of community gathering to share joys and concerns or to ask any questions of Rebekah, followed by refreshments in the salon. I also invite you to come back next week. We will welcome our own Alix Hart and Jenny Saar to our pulpit to talk about form as a language of creativity, what inspires us. I'd also like to mention that our minister emeritus is also here, Ned White. And if you get a chance, please stop by and say hi to Ned. Now, please join us in our closing words, followed by the circle song.
Someone I loved once gave me a box full of darkness. It took me years to understand that this too was a gift.